Good morning. Happy Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. My process this morning is a little different. My routine this morning wasn't quite what is typical, so we're kind of ad-libbing this. Normally, I do the recordings live while I'm trading. However, I've already traded, and so I'm going to go back and just review the recording and add audio to it. So this is the recording. Go ahead and jump into it. I was a little late on my start. Usually I sit down between like 6:30, 6:40, mark out all the levels, watch a few stocks. I like to watch stocks before thinkorswim allows trading at 7 just to kind of get a feel for how they're moving. That's something I've started doing recently, and it seems to be very important as far as getting a feel for the stock. And I wish I would have done that this morning because I think it would have helped me avoid my first loss of the year. Um, It wasn't a major loss. It was more than it should have been. It was $27, I think like 70 cents in total. So not a huge loss, but given my account size, I'm trading with roughly $500. It was a little larger than it should have been. So as you can see in the top left of this recording, it's about 30 seconds till 7. I was marking out like the top 4 or 5 leading gappers based on daily levels as well as their after hours highs and trend lines, pivots. And you'll see I'll go back to NVNI, which was the leading gapper. It did have a pre-market pivot, I think, of 329. And I wish if I would have been just a little bit quicker, I would have bought for the break of that at 7 a.m. And you'll see here, 7 a.m., first 1 minute candle popping up right there, breaks 339, which was the pivot. I probably would have taken about 150 shares there. And we probably would have got probably a 15 to 20 cent move. I just, that's the stock market. I missed it by probably 20 seconds. If I would have been just 20 seconds faster, would have got into it. So I still liked it, even though I missed that entry. So I was kind of waiting for maybe a bull flag setup. First, 1 minute candle to make a new high. So rather than chasing here, which is something I have definitely done in the past, I tried to, practice that discipline, that self-control to just wait, let it go ahead and do the next setup, and then execute on that setup. So we're right at about 7:01. So we're going to get our next 1 minute candle. It's always tempting to buy a dip here just because in the past 3 or 4 weeks, it seems like stocks have dipped and ripped, kind of like that. And I went ahead and tried to jump in there. I didn't get filled. And the same thing happened yesterday. My entry was off by about 13 cents yesterday. I don't know why thinkorswim's having such trouble filling my orders, but it's been kind of, I don't know, it's had trouble this week. I know thinkorswim historically has been kind of slow, but it's actually done pretty well for me in the past probably like year. I tweaked a lot. I spent a lot of time adjusting my computer settings, setting up my chart layout, just to try to optimize performance of thinkorswim, and I finally got there probably like March of last year. So it's usually pretty quick. It's not like it to not fill. Um, but I went ahead and canceled that fill, just kind of waiting for the next setup. This still looks like it could do either a flat top at this point or a 1 minute pullback. Still waiting on that. Trying to look at the other stocks, see if anything else is moving. This was about the only one that looked good. And right here, I'm seeing a lot of consolidation around 350. It seems to be holding that level. So I was thinking, okay, maybe we could get in with a stop at 350. However, we dipped down below it. So I'm either looking at a low of this move or 339 as kind of stop support. I went ahead and jumped in there at 356. I saw green on the tape. I kind of thought we were using 350 as a backstop, and I was looking for that move higher through 365. And we hit 365. I should have just cut it right there, or I should have made my stop break even. I just got a little stubborn. Um, I mean, I can tell it's hesitating right there. I should have just jumped out for a break even loss. I did see at 365 on the level two. I think there was like what would that be? 6,000 share sell orders. It kind of looked like it was stacked on Arca and something else. So that's definitely a level, and there's some resistance. So 356 is my cost basis. It's a little high given that I'm primarily looking between 339 and 365. I am holding, hoping this will do. Yeah, I say hoping. Hoping's never a good thing in the stock market. Waiting for this thing to do the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. I went ahead and put out a stop order about 6 cents, or I'm sorry, a sell order about 6 cents above the high of 365. It seems like in my experience, when you have a level, a 6 cent breakout above that level is pretty safe, pretty consistent. So I went ahead and threw half a sell order at 371 just in case this thing did decide to pop and it just shot through that level quickly, which, would be good, but unfortunately it doesn't set up for that. So still holding here. I think I hold for like maybe another 5 to 10 minutes. So I won't bore you with this thing just chopping sideways. I do end up taking, I think it's about a 17-cent loss overall. It was about $27. I should have cut it at a 10-cent loss. 17 cents is a little more than I'd like to lose. Like I said, I am trading with I'm trading with $1,000 cash account, but I have that balance split in half so I can trade every day. So I trade one half of it one day, the next day I trade the next half, and I just kind of keep that cadence going. So I have roughly $500 to trade with here. I try to keep my risk around 3% of my trading value, which is $15. So my risk on this was $15. However, like I said, I did let that run a little over, which isn't good. So see right here, I'm down 16.50. I should have just cut it. So roughly 10 cents, 150 shares, 10 cents. That's a $15. It's definitely easy to talk yourself into trading your trading plan in the heat of the moment. I first stop should have been break even, so 356. Once we popped above that and it came back down, I should have sold. Your next stop would be the low of the move, which I don't know what that is. I think it's probably like 350 maybe. It's those two green doji candles. The low of the lowest one would have been the next stop. And then I guess the ultimate stop would be 339, that pivot level. And that's kind of what I changed my plan to, was holding to 339. And this thing, it kept consolidating around 350. It looked like it was gonna, stay in that range and then eventually break out. I think we set up a few 5 minute pullbacks, a few 1 minute pullbacks. We did a ABCD on the 1 minute, and I think it was around 7:30 this thing finally broke down. I think last I looked, it hit the VWAP. I don't know if it's recovered or moved higher since then. We had another stock pop up that I changed my attention to. But it's funny. I've been tracking my metrics. So this is my 5th year of trading. I am not profitable yet. Hoping this is the year. And I've been tracking all my trades since I started back it was actually the end of 2019. I took my first trade, but I started taking trades every day in 2020. And I actually have about a 70% accuracy rate since the end of 2019. And I'm actually profitable on all my trades under 5 minutes. It's when I get stubborn and hold on to my trades, like I'm doing right here, where I lose money. But where I'm going with this is almost every trade I take that's under 2 minutes is always profitable. So it's kind of that breakout or bailout. I feel like I have a good instinct, a good reading of where to get in. And more often than not, if that trade works right away within seconds, I'm usually green. However, if it doesn't, I need to just accept that it's not working and just bail out, because the 4 years worth of data shows that holding on is actually hurting me more than it is helping me. So working on the psychology aspect of trading right now. I feel the technicals, the patterns, all that I'm pretty well versed in. It's mainly the what's happening in my head that I'm working on the most. So I actually think trading, at least for me, is probably 75% psychological, 25% technical. The charts, the patterns, the setups, trade plans, executions, if-thens, all that makes perfect sense to me. I could, you know, you could read all the books in the world on that. But the psychology, that's that's the tricky part. And it's even, it's really hard with a small account. Honestly, and I don't know, I'm sure everyone says this, but I feel that if I had a larger account and I could take multiple trades a day, I would do better. The main thing that I get tripped up in my head is I want this to work so bad. I have so much passion for this, and I want it to be a full-time career for me where it's, that self-sufficiency. I'm not relying on a company or, a paycheck from someone else where they could lay me off anytime. Um, so I want this really bad. And then when you have a small account and you can only take one trade a day, it's really hard to accept that today's trade could be red and just cutting it and then you're done and you have to sit there for 24 hours waiting for the next trade. So that's been a huge hurdle for me. And so I've been trying to develop that discipline to follow my plan regardless, work on that patience. If I'm down whatever my R amount is, just cut it automatically. But it's definitely hard when you can only take one trade every day. You're trying to grow a small account. You want this to work. Um, and then you just have to wait a whole another 24 hours before you can execute another trade. But as you can see here, this isn't working. We did get another pop-up there about, what is that, 3 or 4 1-minute candles ago. And again, I was green, but I was only up probably like 6 cents. And I was just really hoping for that breakthrough 365 because I think we would see a move up to 370, 375. However, we just have that band of resistance up there and we couldn't break it. So you'll see there, I went ahead and bailed out. I didn't get filled on my initial entry. Looking at the trade executions on the left, I tried getting out at 341. It didn't fill, canceled that, got back out at 338. So 27 cents. This is where I was checking the other stocks on the scanner. I think it's CMND pops up soon. And that gave a nice 1-minute pullback right off the bat. I think it went from like 250 to 310. So it's always tricky too. I feel these 7 a.m. setups, break of pivots, break of the pre-market or after hour highs, they do work. I would most of the time, or at least they seem to, the ones I'm watching. So I do like to take those. However, I feel that usually between 8 and 9, we always have a stock in that sweet spot, good flow, good price, and it makes a huge move. So it's always hard convincing yourself to pass on what might look like a good 7 a.m. setup and hold out for that one stock that's going to run. And then, the one time I do that, that running stock doesn't show up. So yeah, that again kind of goes back to what I'm saying about if I were able to take multiple trades a day, I think I would do better. Just because I put so much pressure on this one trade. It has to work. It has to be green because it's the only thing I got for another 24 hours. And I need to break that habit. And I am getting better. I would say probably a year ago, I'd still be in this. I'd still let it go down. probably since October of last year, I've shifted my focus from technicals to psychology. I've done like an all-out blitz on psychology. I know I don't cut my losses soon enough. I know I hold on too long, and that is the one thing right now that's keeping me from being profitable. So I've got audiobooks, regular books. I've talked with people. I have performance coaches that I haven't talked to yet, but I have their numbers. Psychologists. So, and I am making progress. Like I said, I am getting slightly better at cutting my losses. I'm still not where I need to be. Case in point, this trade, just sloppy execution. Once I was down $15, I should have cut it. Instead of taking a 1 hour loss, I almost take a 2 hour loss. But making progress. Like I said, a year ago, I would have held this for a while. You'll notice I did get back in there on that last 1 minute candle. I just took small size, 14 shares. And even that was a sloppy execution. I should have gotten in earlier once we broke the previous candle's high. However, I thought this was going to push back up to about 360, and I was going to try to hold for a breakthrough 365, and then if it didn't go, just cut it around 350. And I did get in a little early. If you notice the time, it's 7:14 right now. I was thinking the next with a 1 minute candle like that, and the next 1 minute candle consolidating a bit, I was kind of thinking we might have the first 5 minute candle to make a new high starting now. And if I remember right, this thing just kind of goes red and it doesn't make a new high. So I end up losing, I think, 70 cents on this 14 share lot. I think I took a 5 cent loss or a 6 cent loss or something like that, but small. And it might sound kind of reckless, but I was doing the math in my head. I was aiming for, I think it was like a $3.70 winner. Well, I can tell you. I was aiming for 25 cents. Yeah, so I was aiming for a $3.50 winner, and then I think I was giving this 6 cents or maybe 8 cents. So the profit to loss there was good. And I do end up cutting this for a loss, like I said. It looks like I've got about 11 minutes left in the video. Not much else happens. I think this is the bulk of it. I might actually just edit the video down to end right here. I kind of kept it going just so we could see where this stock goes. Like I said, I'm not primarily making this for content. It's more, it's that psychology. I know I need to cut my losses. I need to not hold on to my losers. And more often, I almost need like a shot clock when I take a trade. Like as soon as I buy, I need like 2 minutes. And as soon as those 2 minutes are up, I got to cut it. Those are the things I'm working on. And I feel like I'm at a point where I need a crutch. I need just a little bit of something extra to help me get over that. So that's why I started recording my trades, is mainly just to hold myself accountable, put this out there, let people comment, give me some insight, constructive criticism, maybe not constructive, just criticism, which I think, I haven't tried it before, but I'm hoping that'll just help me to, execute better, be more disciplined when holding onto my rules now that everything's out there. And the second part of that is I have for a while wanted to record my trades just so I can go back and review it and see like maybe there's something I missed. Maybe something popped up on the level 2 that I missed. Because, when you only have a top of book view, you only see like on the ask right now, it's showing 344. If you have a million share seller at 346, it's not going to show it until the leading ask price hits 346, and it could just flash up and flash down, and if you're not looking at the level 2 right then, you're going to miss it. So that was another reason I wanted to record these, is just so I could go back and review, and just try to clean up. like I said, today was very sloppy. I should have took that 7 a.m. break. Could have got 15 to 20 cents. But the good thing about the stock market is it will always be there tomorrow. So try to take some notes, learn what I did wrong today, and then jump back into it tomorrow. And hopefully continue making progress. I think on the month at this point, I've made $155 minus the 27 today. So what is it, like 126? I forget what I said. 100. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm up 126 on the year so far. This is my first red day, which is excellent. Um, I was it's fun to track your red and green days, but it does kind of add pressure sometimes. I get a little nervous when I'm on a streak, like, oh, can't break it. And it's completely meaningless. It means nothing. Like, who cares if you're on a green streak or a red streak? It's zero bearing on anything. But I do think it's important to track your metrics, your progress. That way you can go back and review. For like I said, I've been tracking for over 4 years now. I had no idea those 4 years I was profitable on all my trades under 5 minutes. Now, granted, the ones that I held on to, all the trades I held on to after that, if I would have cut them earlier, I understand that would cut into my profitability. But it's just good to see that, like, what that says is over 4 years when I've been learning this, all the trades that I take quick, in and out, in and out, in and out, I'm actually making money on. So it's good to know that. And then it also just helps that, I am right roughly 70% of the time. Um, I think I have a 1 to 3 profit loss ratio. I think $15 is my average winner, $45 is my average loser. I think my all-time largest winner is like 325. All-time highest loser is just over $1,000. So you can see I'm not capping my losses while at the same time potentially not letting my winners run. Um, Letting the winners run, I think is relatively easy. They don't always, but I don't really have a problem with that. I'm pretty good at selling half at a profit target and then scaling out the rest. Which I mean, I could clean that up too. Maybe scale out only a third or a quarter at the profit target, hold the rest, break even. So, all right. Well, I think I'll go ahead and end this here. 6 minutes left, but I think we'll go ahead and cut it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, and sloppy executions today, but hey, it's a learning process. First red day wasn't a complete blowout, which is good for me. It's not a triple digit loss, which is also good for me. So, get some takeaways and come back at it tomorrow. Thank you.